Everyone talks about DAO voting like it is simple, but it isn't. Voting logic is the engine that decides who has influence, how decisions get made, and what actually counts as approval. If you don't understand voting logic, you don't understand governance. Today, we are going to break down the real mechanics, how votes are counted, how proposals pass, why some systems are fair and others get captured, and how the math behind governance shapes the entire direction of a protocol. Today, we are breaking down the structure behind DAO voting, how voting power is calculated, how proposals pass or fail, and how the rules inside the governance contract shape the entire direction of a protocol. By the end of this episode, you'll understand the major voting models, the thresholds that determine outcomes, and the attack vectors that every DAO has to defend against. Voting logic is the rulebook that decides how a DAO measures consensus. It defines who gets to vote, how much their vote is worth, how the votes are tallied, and what percentage is needed to pass a proposal. Every DAO answers the same core questions: who is allowed to vote, how voting power is calculated, how many votes are required for a proposal to pass, and what happens after a vote succeeds. Voting logic is the mathematical structure that defines power. Most DAOs use one of three voting models, and each one creates a different power dynamic. The first is token-weighted voting. One token equals one vote. It's simple, predictable, and easy to scale. But whales can dominate if the supply is concentrated. The second is quadratic voting. This model slows down the influence of large holders. Your voting power grows slower than your token count, which protects smaller holders and reduces whale capture. The third is reputation-based voting. Instead of buying influence, you earn it through contribution. It is strong for the community alignment, but weaker for protocols that rely on liquidity. Each model solves a different problem. Each model creates a different culture. A DAO needs two numbers to pass a proposal. Quorum is the minimum amount of voting power that must participate. Threshold is the percentage of votes needed to approve. If quorum is too low, a small group can control the DAO. If quorum is too high, nothing ever passes. If the threshold is too low, proposals pass too easily. If the threshold is too high, the DAO becomes frozen. Voting logic is a balancing act between agility and safety. Delegation allows token holders to assign their voting power to someone who is more active, more informed, or more aligned with their values. It increases participation, it concentrates expertise, it prevents voter apathy from killing the DAO. But it also creates political dynamics. Delegates become public figures, coalitions form, influence shifts. This is where governance becomes real. Every DAO follows a predictable proposal lifecycle. It starts with an idea. Someone identifies a need or a problem. Then the discussion phase begins, usually on a forum. People debate the idea, refine it, challenge assumptions, and shape it into something actionable. After that comes a temperature check, which is a soft signal to see if the idea is worth pursuing. If the community supports it, the proposal moves to an on-chain vote. And if it passes, the smart contracts execute the result automatically. Funds move, parameters update, teams get funded, the DAO changes direction. This is why DAOs scale globally. The process is transparent, predictable, and enforced by code. Voting logic is powerful, but it has weaknesses. Whale capture happens when a large holder dominates votes. Low participation concentrates power in the hands of a few. Flash loan attacks allow someone to borrow tokens, vote, and return them. Sybil attacks create fake identities to manipulate quadric systems. Good governance is not just math, but also very necessary defense. Voting logic determines who has influence, how fast a DAO can move, how safe the treasury is, how aligned the community stays, and how resistant the system is to capture. If you understand voting logic, you understand the power structure of the entire pool. Now, if you are still building your crypto foundation, my book, Understanding Crypto, A Clear Guide for New Investors, gives you the basics so concepts like governance and voting logic actually make sense. And I will absolutely post a link in the description for anyone to grab it. If this has helped you understand how DAO voting really works, like, share, and comment. Tell me exactly what you want next. Treasury flow, DAO culture, or even a real DAO dashboard. Your comments tell the algorithm this matters, and they tell me where to take the arc from here, so stay locked.